So there is still a flopping epidemic in the NBA, something that the NBA has tried to address by fining players for flopping this year. But have they really solved the problem? Have they solved this issue? Apparently not, because there were many flops. There have been flops all year, and there was a big flop in the last game in the NBA Finals in Game 4 that resulted in a fine. So that has me sitting here thinking, what can be done about flopping? People have been talking about this, trying to come up with different solutions. There's been some polls on Sports Nation, which includes suspending players or what else? Reviewing the flop during the game. I don't know about all that. Reviewing during the game is just going to add more delays to the game, which I'm not trying to see. There's enough fouls and everything that slows the game down, and with the newer or the recent review rules, there's already enough stopping the game. So that's just going to add to the length of the game and draw it out a little bit more. So I don't think that's going to work. Um, Suspensions, I don't really know about that. Basically, forget what I just said. All flops were created equally, and they all need to be treated as such. If one flop or one person's gonna get flopped, everything should be flopped, whether it's a head flop or a verbal flop, or some kind of flipping and flopping around and spinning in a helicopter and all this twisting and all that. Whether it is all of that or it's a simple head flop, like I said, or something like that, every flop is created equally and should be treated as such. And for that reason, I don't know if this is something that can be regulated, because flopping has taken over the sport. It's integrated in these players now, and it's going to keep happening. And the NBA hasn't been consistent with finding flops, because there's been a lot of flops that were not fined. You know, it seems like just certain individuals were fined or certain exaggerated flops were fined, which is not right. So it's not regulated. Is it making a difference? I truly don't think it's making a difference. I think it was a good idea to try to fine for flops, but I don't see it stopping. So I think the only way that this could be dealt with is it's going to have to come down to the refs not being fooled by flops, you know, and maybe the NBA rules have to go back to somewhat like the 80s and 90s, instead of so many things being called fouls, because with the refs being so quick to blow the whistle, you know, they're quick to blow the whistle on something that's a flop, whereas they might not be otherwise. So, yeah, if there's no consistent way to call everything that's a flop, and to find it, then you know it's not working. The system's not working. So, my thought is, at least, you know, for the time being, the fines are fine. The fines are fine. But yeah, I think ultimately it's going to come down to the refs, because if the players see a way to get an advantage by flipping and flopping around, they're gonna do it, you know. And I don't blame you if something is not banned from the rule book if you utilize it to its strength. You know, that's just playing smarter. Um, but as a fan, I don't like seeing people flopping all over the place. So yeah, hopefully these fines will help, and they'll continue to develop a way to get these flops up out of here. But you know, until then, I think the refs are really gonna have to uh, step up and not call all these flips and flops and these little touch fouls. That's very annoying. So we will see. I will stay in tune to what's going on with the flops, and you know, hopefully we get them up out of here.